glad you're gonna sleep.
I'm gonna pull this out for you. Okay. I'm right up there. Ready? Az amra lelohai beodi, az amra lelohai beodi, ahazla, ahazla, az amra lelohai beodi, az amra lelohai beodi, az amra lelohai beodi, ahazla, ahazla, az amra lelohai beodi. I'll sing to you, I'll praise to you, O source of all creation. We call your name, we sing your praise, O Holy One of blessing. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Az amra lelohai beodi, az amra lelohai beodi, ahazla, ahazla, az amra lelohai beodi.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbos, Rabbi.
Welcome to Temple Israel. We're glad to be here at the end of another week to welcome in Shabbat. You know, Cantor, the Shabbos before Purim, we call Shabbat Zachor. I feel like the Shabbos after Purim needs a special name besides Parshat Para. Like, whew, thank God that spiel is over. But Yasher Koach, great job on Purim. Hope you all enjoyed celebrating. I think we should have kept our wigs for
Absolutely.
this Shabbat. Well, we are thrilled to be here this week as we welcome members of the Temple Israel Men's Club who will be leading all of Shabbat services tomorrow. And we're glad to have you here with us tonight. And we're also very happy to welcome Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal, the CEO of the Rabbinical Assembly and the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, who will be teaching us tonight. We will begin with the lighting of Shabbat candles, marking the beginning of our holy day. I'd like to invite the Yudov Shapiro family to come lead us in the bracha, the candle lighting blessings, as they celebrate 3 birthdays this week. Please rise.
Okay, yeah. Great, we're gonna go like this. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. You may be seated. Let's turn to our Sidurim, Siddur Lev Shalem, to page 11 for the beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God as we raise our voices in song. Page 11, Lechuner Anana.
Lechuner anina, lechuner anina, lechuner anina, l'Adonai. Lechuner anina, lechuner anina, naria, l'tzur yishenu, nekarma, fana betoda, fana betoda, fana betoda, nekarma, fana betoda, bizmirot, naria lo. Lechuner anina, lechuner anina, lechuner anina, l'Adonai. Lechuner anina, lechuner anina, naria, l'tzur yishenu.
kel gadol and melech gadol kol olim asher b'oz.
40 שנה بود בדור ואומרם תוהי לבבהם והם לדעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ואבי אם יבואו אל מנוחתי.
Sing to Adonai a new song, sing to Adonai all the earth. Page 13, Shiru Adonai Shir Chadash.
Let's join our voices together. Shiru Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Sabru v'goyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Sabru v'goyim kevodo. Bechol ha'amim nifleotav. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash. Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai Baruch Hu Shemo. Basru miyom liyom Yeshuato. Miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom, miyom leyom. Basru miyom leyom Yeshuato.
Yismechu Hashemayim v'sogel haaretz.
ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הימים לא יעלו שדי בכל אשר בו, אז ירדנו כל הצייר. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו.
We turn to page 20, the final 3 lines of the page at the red arrow, and we continue with Romamu.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, רוממו אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו להר קודשו, והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש. כי קדוש, כי קדוש, כי קדוש, אדוני אלוהינו. כי קדוש, כי קדוש, כי קדוש, אדוני אלוהינו.
We turn to page 23 for Lecha Dodi, the special mystical song, welcoming in Shabbat and imagining Shabbat coming in as a bride enters to her wedding. On page 23, Cantor leads us in the first 2 stanzas. At the end of Lecha Dodi, we customarily rise and face the door for the last stanza, Boi V'Shalom, page 23, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. שמור וזכור המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת והליתי לה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום תרפלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
May be seated. We turn to page 27, a song for the day of Shabbat, Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat.
Let's join together on this beautiful melody. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai lai. Yai lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir Leyom HaShabbat. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. U'zamer l'shimcha elyon. U'lezamer l'shimcha elyon. בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עשור ועלי נהבל, עלי היגיון בכינור. יאי לה 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 la. צדיק התמר יפרח כארז בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני בחצרות אלוהינו יפריחו. עוד ינבו בשיבה דשנים ורננים יהיו, להגיד כי אשר אדוני צורי ולא הפלתה בו.
Page 29.
Adonai malach Yitzchak Ulavesh, Lavesh Adonai Uzitazar, Aptikon Tevel Baltimot. מקולות מים רבים אדירים ישברי ים אדיר במרום אדוני עדותיך נמנו מלביתך נאווה קודש אדוני לאורך ימים.
As we conclude Kabbalat Shabbat, I invite everyone to please rise as we share with our children, with our family members, our neighbors, our friends, the words of the priestly blessing, the Berkat Kohanim.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך כן יהי רצון.
May God bless you and keep you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך
May God's Spirit shine upon you, and may God be gracious unto you. May God's Spirit turn onto you, and may God grant you shalom, grant you peace. Ken yehi ratzon. May be seated. We now turn to our prayer for healing as we think of those in our lives in need of physical and spiritual well-being. This Shabbat, we call to mind Shimon ben Yaakov, Mordechai ben Naomi, Perel bat Rezel, Malka bat Sarah, Leib Yisrael ben Abraham bat Zipporah, Aliza Meira bat Leah, Tzivya bat Chana, Elijah Avila, Yafafega bat Zisalbina, Kathy Berlin, Karen Nina Esther, Adina Miriam, Harry Kinney, Kevin Haffey, Ben Sion Chai ben Rachel, Miriam bat Rivka, Jean Cook, Dennis Carroll, Aver Yitzchak, Mordechai Chaim ben Leah, Bluma Duva, Malka Sarah bat Reuben Verut, Hachazan Arya Shimon ben Chana, Eleanor Goldman, Sophie Galinsky, Harvey Stone, Sarah Ella bat Arya Leib, Maxine Albaum, Shmuel ben Shimon, Chana bat Bina, Chaim Yitzchak ben Gittel Fagel, Shmuel ben Regina, Mitchell Radin, Lieber Ephraim ben Malka, Yaakov ben Moshe, Shneir Zalman ben Chana Mindel, Julie Duke, Benjamin Shmuel ben Yehudi, Talia Weinstein, Yitzchak David ben Yael Sima, Yaakov Burton, Moshe Achanan ben Rav Abraham Yosef Halevi, Ital Chaya, Yitzchak ben Yosef Verifka, Herschel Yehoshua ben Malka, David Shmuel ben Chava, Matel Centrovich, Shmuel Herschel Weiss, Moshe ben Zev, Hanan ben Lazer, David Cohen, Reuven ben Sheila Halevi, Malka bat Sarah Devora. If you'd like to include someone else in the prayer for healing, I invite you to rise and share their names with me when I come to you. Patty.
Richard Felling, Ryan McClellan, Reg Smith, Jeffrey Brand, Elizabeth Carroll, Geneva Carroll. Dan, Libby, Barbara, and everyone in my exercise class.
Rabbi.
Little Bat Rachel, Rivka Bat Rachel, Akil Rachel Bat Talia Chana.
Denise.
Yitzchak Mordechai, Ben Lynn Deborah, Malki Elchaim, Yonatan Shmuel Ben Harav Sullivan.
Michael. Honey. Michael. Nick. Earl. Richard.
Michalea bat Harav Pinchas Yosef Batya.
At Kol HaCholim and all those who are ill, we join together the prayer for healing.
El Narifanala, El Narifanalo, Mishe Berachimotenu, El Narifanala, El Narifanalo.
turn to page 30 for the Mourner's Kaddish, and I invite those in mourning or marking a yort site to rise and join me in the words of the Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Bialma divera kirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru amen, Yehi shemei Rabbah mevorach leolam olomeo maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'yimru amen, yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen, oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May be seated. Very excited this week to have a rabbinic colleague joining us at Temple Israel for Shabbat. In honor of the Men's Club Shabbat, we're happy to welcome Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal. And Rabbi Blumenthal serves as the CEO of the Rabbinical Assembly, which is the Association of Conservative Synagogues, and of the United Synagogue for Conservative Judaism, which is the Association of Conservative Synagogues, and the Rabbinical Assembly, the Association of Conservative Rabbis. I can't keep it straight. Maybe you can't keep it straight either. Most days you can't. The two largest organizations of the Masorti conservative movement. Following his ordination at the Jewish Theological Seminary, he served for 20 years as founding rabbi of Sharei Torah in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Rabbi Blumenthal also served in various lay leadership capacities within the Rabbinical Assembly, including chairman of the Joint Placement Commission, member of the Executive Council and Administrative Committee, and the Our RA Vision Strategic Planning Initiative. He has also played important roles in founding entrepreneurial projects in the DC area, including the Ramah DC Day Camp, the Den Collective, focused on young adult engagement, and the Faith Advisory Council for the Montgomery County Executive. Rabbi Blumenthal continues to live in Gaithersburg, Maryland with his wife Marcy, and has two young adult children, Jory and Renana. So I'm happy to welcome Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal to teach us tonight.
Thank you, Rabbi Wolk, and thank you for sharing your bima with me this evening and this weekend. Thank you to Cantor Lisek, beautiful to daven with you and to be inspired by your music and just the beautiful way in which you help us come together in tefillah and prayer. I also want to extend greetings to Rabbi Kornsgold, another beloved colleague that's here at Temple Israel. I want to also acknowledge Elliot Meadow, a wonderful friend and board member at USCJ, a wonderful leader and who just lends so much to our movement and to United Synagogue. And I just want to thank everyone here for warm hospitality, to Josh and the Men's Club and Amy and the leadership here at Temple Israel. It's wonderful to be with you. And this evening I'm going to just speak very briefly. It's the end of a long day, the beginning of Shabbat. I'll speak very briefly a little bit about our movement. Tomorrow I'll share some thoughts about what's happening in Israel, our movement in Israel. I was just in Israel about a week ago, still a little jet-lagged, in fact, and more than a little, what's the word? I guess politics lagged from my experiences there, and I'm happy to share a little bit about that. And then after lunch tomorrow, we'll either follow up on some of the things that I'll talk about in these opportunities, or maybe be able to study a little bit together as well. I always prefer to learn as much as I might offer wisdom. So I'm just wondering for us to start in a space of conversation, especially since relationship is a theme that I want us to speak about this evening, and relationship can't be one person talking at everyone else. So I wonder if just for a moment, since I'd love to talk a little bit about our vision for the Masorti conservative movement, our particular kind of Judaism that we introduce here in America and North America and also all around the world, but our particular way of doing Judaism. So I'm curious if you have in mind a word or maybe a very short phrase. I'll give you that much because we are flexible in the Masorti conservative movement. But I'm wondering if you have a word or a phrase in mind that comes to mind when you think about Masorti conservative Judaism. It could be Judaism in general if you'd like, but especially if you have something around our particular type. Compassion, beautiful. I'll repeat it out in case there are some folks on live stream as well. So, anybody else have a word that describes when you think about our movement? Innovative. Wonderful to hear. Good. Yeah. Tradition. Beautiful. Keep shouting them out. Community. Take a couple more. Learning. Fabulous. Adaptive. Love it. Evolving. Super. Involving. Love it. That's a clever group. I'm very impressed on a Friday night. So I love that these words, I do think that if we put all of those words together, they would describe the kind of movement that I would love for us to build together. A space that is both in terms of, that honors and brings forth a tradition that we can make a part of our Jewish experience, and that's also adaptive, evolving, innovative. That also is compassionate, right? And takes our values and puts them out into the world. The phrase from the Torah portion this week, and every week there's always something that speaks to me. This week there'll be two, since I get to speak to you twice. But the phrase that speaks to me this week, I have to say, is this beautiful phrase that Moshe, says to God after the golden calf. Right? We're familiar with that story. Moses is up talking to God on the mountain, and the Israelites are down below. They don't know what happened to Moshe, and so so Aaron, to sort of mollify them, creates this golden idol, this calf. We'll talk about idolatry tomorrow. It creates this calf. The Israelites start worshiping and dancing around the calf, and then Moshe comes down and everything falls apart. And God is ready to destroy the people, and Moshe intercedes as the prophet, saying, no, don't do that. God eventually forgives the people, not without a plague and, some retaliation by the Levite tribe. But in the end, things are coming back to normal, and they're ready to move on. And then the camera shifts from the people to the relationship between God and Moshe. And Moshe says this beautiful line. Moshe says, Vayomer, Har'eni na et kvodecha. Moshe says, God, show me your kavod. What do you think that means? God, show me your kavod. Yeah. Essence. Beautiful. What else could it mean? Compassion. Love it. You have a helper in terms of compassion. Any other ideas? Your ways. Love that. Show me your being. Lovely. Right? We don't know what it means, really. Right? All of these are beautiful ways to describe a sense of show me, create a relationship with me. Right? I think most of all, what Moshe is saying is, be vulnerable with me. Show me something you haven't shown me before that shows me that our relationship is good. That even though the people have sinned, I need to know that if I'm going to continue leading this people, that we're in partnership, that we're in relationship, that there is a space of love and respect between the two of us, that I can then move forward and we can be partners in bringing the Israelites into the promised land, that we can move past this moment and move forward. And I think it's so fascinating that a story, a narrative that is so focused first on sin and on the mistakes of the people ends up in this very vulnerable moment between Moses and God. And it's that relationship and vulnerability, that humanity in the relationship between God and Moses that I think we need in our own movement. That as much as our movement has been about a particular take on Torah, an evolving Judaism that focuses on how Jewish practice and Jewish experience can change, one of the things that happens magically in our congregations is that we form relationships that are vulnerable, that are real, and where we show parts of ourselves that we might not have shown before. That's, I think, what makes a community real. That's what makes a relationship real. And even in this case where God says, I cannot show you my face because if you saw everything about me, you wouldn't be able to survive that experience. Most relationships aren't completely transparent, I think the Torah is trying to teach. But there's enough vulnerability that we come to love each other, have compassion for each other, learn and love together. That's the essence of what I think happens here at Temple Israel. I know it's what the essence of my own congregation in Gaithersburg, Maryland. And it's something that can happen if we are focused on relationships and partnerships. And that's the kind of work that I think that I want our movement to be engaged in. So whether it's in a synagogue, whether it's working with our teens, whether it's trying to engage new people who are not necessarily walking in the doors of our congregations, or whether it's identifying folks that we need in our pipeline of leadership, whether it's lay leadership or professional leadership and clergy, all of which we need and all of which USCJ and the RA work on together. What we need is that sense of relationship, vulnerability, and partnership. And we do that in a lot of different ways. So at USCJ, we do that through leadership training opportunities, to bring people together, to network them, to help them be vulnerable with each other as they face the common challenges of trying to create a community. In USY and in our teen program, we try to also create those kinds of communities where our teens can have mentors and can have opportunities to learn Torah and to form relationships and friendships with one another in a safe, protected environment. One of the things that we're working on in our movement is to think about how we can create and engage people who are not walking through the doors of our synagogue. I'll give you one project just to take a look at after Shabbat, exploringjudaism.org. It is, hard to believe, our first website that's consumer-oriented, not just for rabbis or synagogue presidents, but for everyone to be able to learn more about Judaism. We just did a huge amount around Purim. It's still there if you'd like to take a look at it, and we'll be putting out a lot of material coming up for Passover. So I would encourage you to go to exploringjudaism.org, take a look at that. And it's really meant to engage not just folks who are already in our synagogues, but folks who are out in the community who want to learn about Judaism. And together with other kinds of learning opportunities, the ways that we can create relationships through Torah, through things called like Scholar Stream, which brings some of our best scholars out into the world and are available to you in real time through Zoom classes, special programs that we do around certain holidays. There's a lot of great material to be there to deal with. And then we are starting to explore various kinds of ways that we can also engage, especially young adults, where they are, which is often not inside our synagogues, but out in the world. So whether it's a wonderful program that I helped to create in the Washington area called The Den, which brings 2 rabbis out into the community, and they engage people one at a time and then bring them together into community experiences. This past summer, we brought rabbinical students to the DC area, and they spent time working with folks who are in their early 20s, who are doing internships or living at home for the summer, gradually over 6 to 8 weeks, engaging dozens and dozens of young people in Torah study and in creating relationships. So that's the kind of work that our movement needs to really start to do, in addition to the work that we do strengthening our synagogue, strengthening our leadership pipeline, and engaging our youngest people in their teens and in their childhood. So it's just a little taste of the kinds of things that we want to do and the reason why, which is because what our Torah portion is suggesting is that it's not just, it is about Torah, but it's also about the Torah of relationships. It's about that moment of vulnerability, right? Where he says, Hareini na et kvodecha. Show me your kavod. Show me your essence. Show me your compassion. Show me your love. Show me who you are. Show me more so that our relationship can grow. Share with me. That's the kind of movement that we should be building together. I know that's the kind of experience that is part of Temple Israel, as I've gotten to get to know folks already, just in the past few hours, spending just the afternoon here. I see the kinds of relationships, compassion, love, and care that is formed here in this congregation and across our network of 560 congregations all across North America, and the work of our 1,600 rabbis all over the world. It's powerful to think about the impact, to think about the love and compassion and care that we create together, the Torah knowledge that we can share with one another, and the deepening of friendship and relationship that we can do together. And my blessing, my prayer for this evening is that we will learn and grow with one another, whether it's right here in this congregation or across the 1 million+ people who are impacted by our movement every year. I wish us all that sense of being exposed to each other's kavod, our sense of love and care for one another, the sense of God's essence that is inside each of us, made in God's image. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom, Yasher Koach. Thank you, Rabbi Blumenthal, for teaching us about the Torah portion, about that powerful story, and about what takes place behind all of the work that we do as members, as parts of this synagogue community. Let's turn to page 39, and I invite you to please rise for the Baruch Hu, the beginning of the Mariv, the evening service. May be seated. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets a succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from before the light.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים. תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב הרבי.
Amen. Page 40.
אהבת עולם בית ישראלך, אהבת תורה מצוות ומשפטים אתה למעלה תלגין. כי הם חיינו ויורח ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, לבטח תשים ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך, ובשעריך, והם שמעו תשמעו את אשר לכם מצוותך היום. Adonai Elohechem, Amen.
Then Moses, Miriam, and the people of Israel joyfully sang this song to you, Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, top of page 44. We call Olivia Yudof to the bima to lead us.
ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך באלים מי כמוך נהדר בקודש מי כמוך נהדר נורא תהילות אוסף אלה אוסף אלה נורא תהילות אוסף אלה אוסף אלה אחותך ראו בניך בוקע היה לפני משה זה אלי זה אלי זה אלי עלו ואמרו אדוני יברוך לעולם ועד אדוני יברוך לעולם ועד מי כמוך
מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך
באלים מי כמוך נהדר בקודש מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. Beautiful, thank you.
Asher kochech, Olivia.
נאמר כי פדרנו את יעקב וגאל מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גל ישראל.
Amen. Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Blessed are you who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people of Israel, and over Jerusalem. Page 45, Hashkivenu.
Let's join together Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, leshalom. Ve'ha'amidenu malkeinu lechaim, lechaim. Ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, shlomecha. When I lay down at night, when I lay down at night, when I rest my head, when I rest my head, oh God, watch over me. Oh God, watch over me. And when the morning comes, and when the morning comes, we thank Adonai. We thank Adonai and pray for peace. Join together. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, ve'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ushmor tzitenu vo'enu lechaim u'shalom me'ata v'ad olam, ufroseinu sukat shalomecha baruch atah Adonai. Haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim.
Amen. Page 46, please rise for Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'torotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'torotam berit olam. Beni u'b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'torotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'torotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'torotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat, la'asot et haShabbat le'torotam berit olam. Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamlik malchutei.
B'chayechon u'b'yomechon u'b'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala, ba'gala, u'b'zman kariv.
Yimeru.
Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach, le'olam olam me'omaya. Yitbarach.
Yibarach ve'yishabach v'yibar v'terman v'yinase v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei rekudsha
Richu.
Le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata
Tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yama.
Yimeru
Amen. We spend the next few moments in silent prayer with the words of the Amidah, beginning on page 47. When you've completed the Amidah, you may be seated.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
page 54. Please rise for Kaddish Shalem. As we're getting ready for the Kiddush, I invite all the kids to come join us up on the bima. Page 54, Kaddish Shalem.
יתקרא ויקדש שמי רבה.
אמן.
יעמד יברכנו תבים נברכותי בחי חנו ומחנו ובחי רבי ישראל. בגלה וזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך. לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך. יתברך וישבח ויבר ותרומה וינשא ויתזר ויצלח ויצלח שמי קודשה. בריחו לעילם מכל ברכתה ושירתה ושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בימה וימרו. אמן תתקבל סלטון ובלטון תוך ישראל קודם אבון וישמעי ויאמרו אמן יהי שם הרב אמין שמעי וחמלין וכל ישראל ויאמרו אמן עושה שלום במרום אף הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו אמן
Amen. Page 55. I've got a good crew to help me with the Kiddush. Savrim, Aranan, Rabbanan, Rabotai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddeshanu mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. L'chaim. Now you can drink. You can go for it, Nate. Go for it. Guys, we continue page 56 with Aleinu. Shakoa.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכינו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, השבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת עינו, רק נקבל כי המלכות שלך אלוהים תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו May be seated. We turn to page 58. This coming week, we observe the yort sites of Abraham Levine, Alan Sykes, Benjamin Bedrick, Daniel Jennis, Eva Shoemaker, Flora Rocklin, Isaac Medansky, Jeremy Aaron Sofin, Jerome Burke, Mayor Hunger, Miriam Miller, Shirley Palmer, Sophie Dobbs, Abraham Goldstein, Abraham Levine, Benjamin Shapiro, Lorena Abadi, Louis Goldsmith, Pauline Bergen, Rebecca Gordon, William Salem, Barbara Goldstein, Anna Seigler, Charlotte Gold, Harry Goldfarb, Henry Kenneth Ostrow, Ida Kaufman, Irving Livingston, Johnny Goldberg, Leonard Rabhan, Louis Goldberg, May Kropp, Robert Bob Guggenheim, Sonia Lusky, Stanton Polyakov, Arnold Prestowski, Blanche Sanderson, Diane Wolfman, Elsie Flegel Fields, Florence Ziebel, Isaac Dushkin, Jay Langsam, Lillian Messenger Bayer, Louis Rubin, Myron Kaufman, Renee Buxbaum, Robert Ochaki, Stanley Gindi, Alfred Scher, Charlotte Friedland, Dora Perlin, Elaine Hirsch, Elizabeth Schwartz, Howard Campbell, Jerome Maddens, Leonard Gordon, Louis Katzen, Rebecca Moskowitz, Vladimir Buckengoltz, William Bagilio, William Beanstalk, Arthur Becker, Barbara Sklut, David Levine, Evelyn Goldstein Nagelberg, Francis Abrams, Jack Scharfglass, Lenora Stein, Muriel Kronsberg, Nelson Sfredo, Vernon Kraus, Abe Slutsky, Bracha Klieger, Estelle Meadow, Eva Berkowitz, Issy Kozilski, Nathan Glauberman, Sam Levy, Zaki L. Kodzi, Elsie F. Whale, Fanny Bernstein, Hilda Cooper, Chaya Galinsky, Morris William Goldman, Muriel Danilin Slavin, Norton Bernbach, P.B. Fisher, Paul Spiel, Renee Berlinski Sutker, Robert J. Davis, Wolf Solman, and Zane Steinberg. We also extend condolences to families in the period of Shloshim following the death of a loved one, to the family of Rabbi Mark Wilson, former spiritual leader of Temple Israel, to Heidi Rotberg on the passing of her mother, Marcia Phyllis Leifer, and to Deborah Pizer on the passing of her husband, Ed Pizer. Page 58, I invite those in mourning or marking a yortzeit to rise and join me in the words of the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divera kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevorach leolam ulomeo maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru amen. May be seated. Representing the Temple Israel Board of Trustees, I call on, my guy, Amy's pointing that way. Josh Lowensteiner, there he is, president of the Temple Israel Men's Club.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to everyone to Men's Club Shabbat. A special welcome to our scholar in residence, Rabbi Jacob Blumenthal, CEO of the United Synagogue of Conservative Judaism, who's here to celebrate Shabbat with us and to learn together. And we're very excited to have you here and thankful to all of the people involved in Temple Israel and Temple Israel's Men's Club who made it possible for Rabbi Blumenthal to join us this Shabbat. So you know who you are. Thank you so much for your incredible generosity. And thank you for joining us, Rabbi Blumenthal. Let's see, Yasher Koach to the Temple Israel Men's Club members who participated in tonight's service, and thanks to Rabbi Wolk, Cantor Lissick, Sean Sievert for the live stream, and Adam Ward for the piano accompaniment. Tomorrow morning's service is going to be a full men's club takeover. So we will lead and learn from one another, followed by an incredible tribute to Parsha Parah, the tribute to the red heifer, by enjoying a vast deli-style kiddush together. So we hope that you will all join us for that. We're looking forward to just a wonderful service tomorrow, and we will look forward to leading the service and learning from one another. Let's see, a couple of men's clubs things coming up. Next weekend, next Shabbat, 3/17 to 3/19 is our regional men's club retreat at Camp Ramah Rome. There are 7 or 8 Temple Israel men who are going to the retreat, and we would love to round that up to 10, so we could still squeeze another person or 2 in if you have interest. We would love to have you there. So that's leaving next Friday, coming back next Sunday. 3/26, March 26th, Sunday, March 26th, we'll meet here for Minyan in the morning, and then we will have breakfast together, and we will get a group of guys together to pack Yom HaShoah candles, and our intention is to deliver one to every family unit of Temple Israel this year, as we've done in the past, and we need some volunteers for that. So if you would come on the 26th, and we need volunteers to help deliver those to our entire congregation. Let's see, what else do we have? Semi-annual golf tournament coming up Monday, May 1st. And then our Lag BaOmer steak night, save the date for Tuesday, May 9th, 2023. On the Temple Israel calendar, we've got the second evening Seder for our Temple community on April 6th. So please register for that on the Temple Israel website by March 29th. Space is limited, so please do not delay in making your reservations. On March 22nd, Jewish Family Services is offering a very important event, Finding the Joy in Caregiving, featuring author Kate Swenson. This is for parents and caregivers of individuals with disabilities, developmental delays, and neurodiversity. For more information, see the link on the Temple Israel website or JFS. And then, of course, be sure to check out all the other programs on the Temple Israel upcoming programs page on the website. And last but not least, I wish to thank all of the gentlemen from the Temple Israel Men's Club who have joined us this evening, and for our different programs throughout the year, for your friendship, for learning together, for your incredible generosity. And I think that we all have a debt of gratitude to our families for helping make it all possible. So with that said, Shabbat Shalom. I hope you have a peaceful and restful night, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Josh. Thank you. And thank you for all your work on the men's club this year. I hope it's been fun and meaningful. Josh mentioned our second night Seder, which I'm very excited that we're going to be holding again this year. So you should get your RSVPs in if you're planning on joining us. But another pre-Passover announcement. Last year, I ended up matching up between 15 to 20 people who were looking for Seders to go to, either on the first or second night of Passover. And since the very first Passover Seder back in Egypt all those years ago, it's been traditional to welcome people into our homes, to invite guests to join us to celebrate Passover. So you're going to be getting an email this week, and it's going to be up on the website. If you are hosting a Passover Seder, either or both nights, and are willing to host some guests who are looking for a Passover Seder, I'm going to ask you to put in your information on that site so that I have places to match people up when they are looking for Seders. And it's really a great way to meet people, and it's a great way to celebrate Passover if you are able to welcome guests into your home. So we're going to conclude tonight with Shalom Aleichem. Let's turn back to page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Asharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Boachem, Shalom Malachi, Shalom Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, Shalom Malachi, Shalom Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, Shalom Malachi, Shalom Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malachi HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Ay, 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 Tzidchem, Shalom Malachi, Shalom Malachi Elyon, shalom.